Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I am going to be ranking all 9 DCEU films in order from worst to best. Let me know your rankings in the comments below. Before we get into the video, please make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. Now, let's get into the rankings. Number 9. Birds of Prey. Unfortunately, this film is very disappointing to me. I felt no connection to the characters, and the overall story was pretty dull. The fight sequences were overly choreographed for me. It was way too obvious when people were holding back punches to wait for the actresses to go and punch them themselves or take them out. However, Margot Robbie was a brilliant Harley Quinn, as well as Ewan McGregor was a great Black Mask. But unfortunately, these are the only 2 good things I could get from Birds of Prey. Number 8. Suicide Squad. Unfortunately, studio interference made this film very disappointing. They saw the success of Deadpool and tried to replicate it in Suicide Squad with reshoots. This led to little Joker time and very poor editing. I didn't really care for some of the characters, such as Killer Croc or Captain Boomerang, and I feel this was because of the reshoots. Some characters, like Katana, were underused. I did like Harley Quinn and Deadshot, and unfortunately they were the only 2 things that were the highlights of the film. Unfortunately, that was about it. But I did like the cameos from Batman and the Flash. However, I did think we needed to see more of Batman and his relationship with the Joker. Fingers crossed we will see the Ayer cut at some point in the future. Number 7. Wonder Woman 1984. People have mixed opinions about this film, and so do I. I liked it when I saw it the first time, as I saw it as disconnected from everything else. However, I did not like the film when comparing it to Wonder Woman in Batman v Superman and Wonder Woman in her first Wonder Woman film. Unfortunately, the pacing of the film really let it down. It felt very slow and there was a long time between fight sequences. Unfortunately, there was a dull end fight between Wonder Woman and Cheetah. Comparing her fights in Wonder Woman the first film and Batman v Superman, I was hoping to see more of that kind of action, but going into this film, instantly I could tell by the mall scene that that was not the case. However, I did really like the casting and I thought the acting was amazing. Pedro Pascal stood out for me and he was brilliant as Maxwell Lord. I loved the opening scene on Themyscira and I thought it was a really good start. Unfortunately, the rest of the film didn't live up to it. Number 6. Justice League. The only reason it is at 6th place is because of the characters. I love the Justice League characters. If this was used by other characters like Birds of Prey or Suicide Squad, this would definitely be in last place. The awful reshoots really did butcher this film, which had such high potential. You could tell which were reshoots and which were not with the awful CGI, especially the attempt of removing Henry Cavill's moustache. There was also way too much humour for this DC film for me. After leading from Batman v Superman, I was hoping for a much darker film as well to carry on the tone. However, what we were given was cringy, poor dialogue. The scenes in the trailer looked better than the film. This is mainly because they were Zack Snyder shots in the trailer, which were then either reshot or cut out of the film. Steppenwolf was also not an interesting villain, and the characters seemed weak. The story was especially confusing with the reshoots being involved. The first Batman scene in the film had Batman with no beard, and then we suddenly cut to Batman in Iceland with a beard. So unless there's a huge time jump, they really did mess this up. One of the worst parts of the film was the opening scene with Superman. Not only was that upper lip awful, but you could instantly tell that Superman was being brought back to life. The suit that was used in that scene we had never seen before. This was a brand new suit, which confirmed to us that he was coming back. Danny Elfman's score was really bland as well, and I didn't like the recycling of old themes. The things I did like was the Heroes Park scene, which was a Zack Snyder scene, mainly. Number 5. Shazam. This is another film that had a lot of humour in it, and from going from Justice League into Shazam, I was a bit worried. However, this film did the humour correctly. It didn't feel much like a DC film, based on the films previous to this, but it did feel like a good film. I thought the cast was fantastic, the CGI was okay because of the budget, and I thought the story was very good. But to improve this film, I would have given a bigger budget. I wanted to see more destruction. I wanted to see how Shazam could have fought Superman. But in this film, I didn't feel he could at all. Not because he's a kid, but actually because of his strength doesn't seem like it's at the same point as Superman. Unfortunately, the score wasn't anything special either. I would have loved to hear a brilliant Shazam theme which could rival Superman's. Number 4. Aquaman. This was a film I didn't go in with any expectations, but I came out really enjoying the film. I didn't connect to Aquaman in Justice League at all, but I did in this film. I felt like Jason Momoa was fantastic. I thought the cast was fantastic as well, not only Jason Momoa. And this was visually one of the best comic book films there are. I loved the fight scenes and they felt very unique, as well as the compelling villain story. I thought the score was good, but nothing amazing, but it was stronger than Shazam's. Number 3. Wonder Woman. This was a really interesting and entertaining story. I also thought Gal Gadot was a brilliant Wonder Woman. Her chemistry between her and Chris Pine was fantastic, as well as the rest of the cast fitting perfectly into this world. For me, the final fight was a bit dragged out. I felt it could have been cut down or been a bit smaller, but I did like the continuity between Batman v Superman Wonder Woman and this Wonder Woman. I thought that was much better than the continuity between Wonder Woman 1 and Wonder Woman 2. I thought that was really off, but between Wonder Woman and Batman v Superman, the continuity was great. The score was good, nothing amazing, as the one in Batman v Superman for me was much better, but this one I liked how it carried on with that theme. Number 2. Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition. This is one of the highly controversial films in the DCEU, but for me it had a complex and interesting story, and was a very thought-provoking film. I thought Ben Affleck as Batman was brilliant, and he made Batman scary again for me. I really liked how it connected Man of Steel to Batman v Superman, with the Metropolis destruction scene with Bruce Wayne driving through it. The score was fantastic. Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL did a brilliant job. I thought Wonder Woman's score especially was fantastic, and I thought it was also a brilliant introduction to Wonder Woman. Number 1. Man of Steel. This is my favourite film of all time. It had a really strong cast and a great story. I thought General Zod was the best DCEU villain we've had so far, and Hans Zimmer's score was amazing. In fact, it's my most favourite of all time. It was another thought-provoking film from Zack Snyder, and I loved how it put Superman into our world instead of us going into his. I have a full review of Man of Steel on my account if you wish to check it out. For me, the DCEU started with great potential, but failed when they tried to replicate Marvel instead of staying down their own path. But it seems like with the release of Zack Snyder's Justice League, the original path of the DCEU could happen if the Snyder Cut is successful. But that is all for today's video. If you enjoyed, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. But until then, Bye bye.